So what is up, Formula One fans? This is OBB, the Diecast News Guy, and today I have the pleasure of showcasing you guys a really cool bburago car that you could get at your Walmarts and Targets, and, well, if you even want to risk it, check it out on eBay. Today, it is going to be on the McLaren Formula One team for the MCL60 of the 2023 British Grand Prix, and of course, we got to go with the fan favorite, Lando Norris, and for anybody who is new to watching my F1 bburago reviews, probably recommend you guys checking out all the other ones, including I reviewed the predecessor of this car for 2022. So if you guys want to check that out, go right ahead. But you guys can see we got ourselves a really cool collector box, which, I mean, I don't really have the time in the world to explain the different versions you get, but this is the version you'll get at Walmart for $10, coming with a clear case, and it doesn't have the driver figure. But if you end up actually getting the McLaren car for the first time, it's at Target. It will actually have a non-base box, but it will have the driver inside. So, but of course, I got this from Walmart, and I am a big McLaren fan. I think these are pretty cool, and you see the box is pretty nice, and it's not covered up with the giant barcode tag like we had before with some of the Ferraris. And yeah, there's all the copyright stuff. You guys want to see that? But let's go ahead and take on a closer look, and let's dig down into this really cool McLaren F1 MCL60 driven by the one and only Lando Norris. And alrighty, folks, we got this diecast out of its box, and before we take a closer look at the fine details of this diecast 1/43 scaled model, here is the base that comes with it. Nothing too crazy, but I think it's pretty cool that they add where actually the driver finished P2 for the British Grand Prix. So really nice stuff right there. And of course, it's mounted with a Phillips screw, so it's pretty easy to get that out. And you know, this is a 1/43 scale diecast, so it is a lot bigger than some of the 1/64 diecasts I usually collect, compared to the Mini GT diecast, which I reviewed with Max Verstappen's Red Bull car from 2 years ago. But anyways, now guys, we got to go ahead and now take a look at the first impressions of this new diecast scale model for the MCL60, the new updated look from 2023. But of course, this is probably not going to be accurate to what the real car was at the British Grand Prix, considering I think the side pods were different. But keep in mind, bburago probably had this car way in advance in their production line before the season even started. But already, I could already tell that there was a lot better quality on this car compared to, which, I mean, if you guys are new to my diecast reviews, with every diecast, I always show a comparison, so we'll be getting onto that very shortly. But this, the papaya orange on this is a lot better than what we had from last year. I mean, keep in mind, this is only the second time that I think bburago is making the updated McLaren cars. I mean, well, with this new branding and this new look for or the updated look for the McLarens compared to what we've had from like a decade ago. So really cool, guys. And I think this is probably has got a lot of people to collecting these cars. I mean, I'm only in my second year of collecting these F1 cars, and these are really nice models, guys. For what you're getting, guys, $10, so worth it. So much great details. I know there's no driver figure on here, but if you're lucky to find the Target version, that will have it. But you don't get the collector case, so there are some trade-offs to that. But we do got, I think a lot of people will be like, okay, well, is this car like basically like all plastic or all metal? It has a combination. So the parts where I'm actually showcasing where my fingers are, that is actually plastic, which is pretty standard. Well, not really for Greenlight Collectibles with their Indy cars, but for bburago, that is. So plastic here and plastic there. But I think everywhere else, besides the mirrors, of course, they're definitely plastic, is die-cast metal. But what's even cool is that this car even has like a matte finish to it, and of course we can't forget that chrome, and this chrome does look really nice. And speaking of that, we also got the Google Chrome logos and the Google Chrome rims, which, heck, I wonder if this looks like a reluctant wheel, just like shoot, like that. Look at that, look at that. Does that look pretty badass? It does. But there's all the sponsors if you guys want to see that. I mean, I don't really have to point out what the sponsors are, since you guys can probably see it with this crisp quality. And while it's not really perfect, there are some decaling issues right there. I've heard some people say, yeah, that chrome logo definitely doesn't look high definition. I will say that. I think there's another YouTuber that I'd want to get a shout out, because I actually have got inspired, actually, even though I've done reviews for a while now. I got inspired from a YouTuber known as Not Noel. He reviewed some of these cars, and they made me go out and actually review them. And heck, I am a McLaren fan myself, but I thought I would give that point out right there. Of course, there is a big sponsor right here that's missing, but since we no longer, well, been a while now, actually. They can't actually have tobacco sponsors on here, which I think that's Vuse or I don't know, something that starts with a V. But I should know I'm a McLaren fan. but we got Splunk and a lot of other cool sponsors. That I mentioned, yeah, those are plastic. The T-Cam, which is really cool. That's something we don't see on the Spark 164s, which I find pretty amusing. Carbon fiber underneath. You see all the details right there. Even some sponsor details on the front suspension. Just really well put together. And this front wing is holding up actually compared to the one I'm going to showcase in a second. In the back, it does have stickers, so that does make it look like it's pretty cheap. But you know, it's in a spot where you can't really tell. But I think another thing I like about this car is that not only is that the papaya is it's so crisp and so clear. I mean, that is what papaya should look like. I mean, on camera it doesn't look like, you know, bright highlighter, you know, orange. This thing will definitely hit you in the face once you see it. I mean, it's definitely gonna be a hot seller. Probably avoid the scalpers that are gonna be at the Gypsy tents. If you're ever at a, you know, an IndyCar race or something like that, they do sell these for like $20, which I think is crazy. So just be on the lookout for the scalpers. But it is an F1 market, and usually their stuff is pretty expensive. So if you ever want to be an F1 fan, this is probably the best way to get these cars, because heck, the only thing that I mean, $10, 8 to $10 can't really break the bank for what you're getting. Still is pretty cool. I know some people prefer die-cast metal, but to even talk about this car, guys, I like that it has like a matte finish to it with some metallic pieces as well. So it's like a two-tone car, which I think is pretty cool. I think bburago actually didn't know how to do that. They could just made it all plain, but I'm glad there's two different finishes. So where the orange and where the papaya and black is, that's all matte, and here is all chrome and silver, which of course, I mean, we've seen a lot of cool liveries so far. I do like these special liveries that we do have for the F1 teams, and I think bburago actually is making a few other special liveries as well, like Max Verstappen's I think Miami car, which by the way, pretty appropriate to talk about Lando Norris, because he finally got that first win at the Miami Grand Prix. I mean, this one was actually a cool race to see as well, seeing that, you know, I think he got his first podium at his home track, finishing P2, and Piastri finishing P4. And since I am talking about a McLaren car, I gotta give a quick shout out to Oscar Piastri as well. I think I actually saw this version as well at my Target actually, so probably could have picked that up and showcased the differences of the Walmart versus Target bburago cars. But congrats seeing both McLaren drivers win this year, which is pretty cool. But now we're getting on to the best part of this video, which I will showcase you guys the die-cast comparison. And what I'm about to show you is probably a car that is gonna really make this thing look like the best McLaren car ever. Here is its predecessor. And do I even need to start? I mean, look at the orange. Look at the papaya. Look how the front wing is. I mean, yeah, it still looks pretty sloppy, but goodness gracious, dude, I can't believe that this was marketed as an official F1 merchandise. I mean, this thing looks pretty bad, even though I did gloss over and said, oh, this is pretty cool. But since we are showcasing this, you know, well, I know it's not this year's, but, you know, F1 diecasts are like a year behind, which is understandable, because as you guys can see, the cool thing about these F1 cars is that every year the chassis is different. All right, it's like, as you can see, I mean, as you guys can tell, I probably don't watch that much F1. I'm more of an IndyCar and NASCAR guy. But heck, you know, I do occasionally watch F1 from time and now. But having these diecast models at the store shelves now really has kind of piqued my interest. You guys know me; I love watching sports and having a merchandise to go along with it. And probably I'll never be able to afford the Miami Grand Prix, so I do live in Florida. But heck, as long as I get a merchandise like this looks really cool. But I know these 143 scale cars are pretty big, but I don't know, we're going to see if we're going to try to give you guys a different camera angle right here. Try not to zoom in because I'll lose that crisp quality. But yeah, you see where it's like a blue, you see the blue does look pretty cool, but it just doesn't go well with this scheme, guys. And of course, the two different tires as well, the soft and then the hard compounds. Man, Lando Norris, man. If any of you guys were actually, if anybody who's an international fan and is watching this, first of all, subscribe if you guys haven't already, because I will be reviewing more of these if these actually go well. Plus, give some good variety on this channel. But if you guys were at the Grand Prix, the British Grand Prix for Silverstone last year, let me know, because I'm assuming the crowd went absolutely nuts when Lando Norris led this race for like the first opening laps or so. But glad finally both those guys' time have come and could be a good threat for the championship for 2024. Curious about the 2024 cars that we're going to get next year probably. But yeah, and there's a comparison if you guys want to see that. Of course, it's really hard to compare these things because, heck, wide angles. I mean, heck, I could give you guys a wide angle, but probably won't be the best quality for you guys, and you can see all the fine details on this. But really got to give bburago as well. I mean, well, I do guys say one thing about the quality. That tire looks like it's been punctured. Good lord. Look at that thing. Absolutely out around. But you know, I've had quality issues before with the bburago cars, so they're right there, a big fix. Compared to this is the problem I had with the rear wings, so I don't know if I just got a bad batch, but glad to see that this is kind of fixed and more glued together. So just be on the lookout for the plastic pieces. But this is pretty much gonna wrap it up right here for this bburago F1 diecast review of Lando Norris's 2023 McLaren F1 team MCL60. He finished P2 at this race, which was really cool. And heck, hopefully he didn't break any trophies during that time, but I almost kind of broke the mic right there. But this has been OBB, the diecast news guy. Hope you guys enjoyed this F1 diecast. And go on and get it today because it's definitely going to be a hot seller for sure. But comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time on another one of these, hopefully, exciting F1 diecast reviews.